الحمد لله رب الحبيب رب العالمين أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واتقوا يوما ترجعون فيه إلى الله ثم توفى كل نفس ما كسبت وهم لا يظلمون صدق الله العظيم. Honorable ulama kiram, respected elders and brothers and esteemed mothers and sisters, I'm sure we are all aware of the occurrings of what happened in last week in Turkey in terms of respect to a murder of a very prominent journalist. And that got me thinking as I was sitting down preparing for today's talk, and I was thinking, why not talk about death? It's something so contemporary. It happens all the time. But the thing is, you and I, we can speak about sports for hours on end. There was a very famous king, his name was Sulaiman bin Abd al-Malik. So one day, Abu Hazm, who was a sage, and he was a very, very pious person, a very learned scholar, he came to the court of Sulaiman bin Abd al-Malik, and it's a very, very interesting conversation. It's a long conversation. And Sulaiman bin Abd al-Malik, one of the questions he asked him was, مَا لَنَا نَكْرَهُ الْمَوْتِ? What's it with us that we feel so uneasy when the topic of death comes to the fore? We're a bit, give me sports, I'll talk on hours. Give me the economy, I'll tell you what's going on. Stock market, I can talk. Right? Why is that? Can you break that down for me? Why is it that everyone's feeling uneasy whenever we speak about death? He said, لِأَنَّكُمْ عَمَّرْتُمُ الدُّنْيَا وَخَرَّبْتُمُ الْآخِرَةِ. He said, oh my king, the reason for you feeling uneasy is because you have pulled all your resources into this world, into this life. And you have not made a conscious effort for your akhirah. فَتَكْرَهُونَ الْخُرُوجِ مِنَ الْعُمْرَانِ إِلَى الْخَرَابِ. Just like the way you would feel uncomfortable leaving your house and your town and your city to go live in the jungle, the same way you're feeling a bit uneasy leaving this world for the akhirah. Because you have not put something in for the akhirah yet. That's the reason why you're feeling a bit weird. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means certainty. What's the meaning of certainty? Like, what psychological level do I have to be to understand certainty, to be feeling certainty? And a good example of this is if any one of us go to the basement, there's no windows. I'm not sure, but theoretically speaking, I'm not sure this basement. We go to a basement right now. We go to a basement. There are no windows, and someone comes and tells us it's nighttime right now, right? And then another person comes and tells us it's nighttime right now. No matter how eloquent a speaker can be, no matter how persuasive a person's arguments can be, you and I will never ever believe that this is the meaning of yaqeen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran Kareem, وَاعْبُدْ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينَ. And worship your Lord until certainty comes to you. What certainty here? It means death. They say in English, there is nothing more certain than death. There is nothing more certain than death, and there is nothing more uncertain than the time of death. There's no doubt, in fact, that the greatest tragedy that happened to this ummah is the death of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There's no doubt about this. The death of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was the greatest tragedy for every single person. Upon occasion, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he appointed Mu'adh radiallahu anhu as the governor of Yemen, he walked Mu'adh radiallahu anhu to the outskirts of Medina. As Mu'adh radiallahu anhu was on his conveyance, camel or horse, whatever it was, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was walking next to him, and they walked to the outskirts of Medina. Parting, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told Mu'adh a very emotional sentence. He said, عَسَىٰ أَلَّا تَلْقَانِي بَعْدَ عَامِي هَذَا. He said, Ya Mu'adh, this is possibly our last meeting. When you come next year, لَعَلَّكَ تَمُرُّ بِمَسْجِدِي وَبِقَبْرِي هَذَا. When you come back next year, you're going to see my grave, O Mu'adh. You're not going to see me. You're going to see my grave, and you're going to see my masjid, but you're not going to be seeing me. Mu'adh radiallahu anhu, he burst into إِنَّ أَوْلَى النَّاسِ بِي الْمُتَّقُونَ حَيْثُ كَانُوا وَمَنْ كَانُوا. He said, Ya Mu'adh, on the day of Qiyamah, the people who will be closest to me on the day of Qiyamah, the people who will be resurrected with me will be those people who observe taqwa. Be they be buried anywhere. But on the day of Qiyamah, the people who have taqwa will be the closest to me. It's not about space, physical space. It's about the lifestyle of our actions. This is amazing thing on Mu'adh radiallahu anhu's part as well, which shows the emotional maturity that he was able to hear such a thing, You know, at times doctors find it difficult to break down to the patient's family. Like, this family member, he only has a certain amount of time. It's a very, very hard moment for a doctor to break it down to the family. Like, your father, your brother, your uncle has 4 more months left only. 4 months left only. It's a very difficult thing. Fatima radiallahu anha, when she heard about the death of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she said, صُبَّتْ عَلَيَّ الْمَصَائِبُ لَوْ أَنَّهَا صُبَّتْ عَلَى الْأَيَّامِ عُدْنَ لَيَالِيَهَا. She said a lot of things. One of the poems which she said, it just shows also how eloquent the Sahaba Kiram were. You and I, if give me a beat and compose poetry instantly, just on the spot. So this is one of the things she said. She said other things as well. One of the things she said was, I have been such a amount of sadness and grief has overcome me right now. If this grief had to come on the sun would immediately and instantly lose its light. And she kept on asking the Sahaba Kiram, أَطَابَتْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَن تَحْثُوا عَلَى رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم التُّرَابِ. Like, how did you do it? How did you manage to lower him and just put the soil over him? How did you put him away in the ground? How did you do it? She was just so struck with grief. The point what I'm trying to make is, if death could happen to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the paragon of Nabi Khalidun, we did not decree eternity for anyone before you, Ya Rasulullah. Everyone is going to pass away. Everyone before you has passed away, and everyone after you will also pass away. عِشْ مَنْ شِئْتَ فَإِنَّكَ مَيِّتُ وَأَحْبِبْ مَنْ شِئْتَ فَإِنَّكَ مُفَارِقُ. Live with whoever you want to live. One day you will be separated. Umar radiallahu anhu, who's an example of piety and who has been guaranteed Jannah by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He used to say, يُقَالُ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ مَاتَ فُلَانٌ وَمَاتَ فُلَانٌ وَلَا بُدَّ مِنْ يَوْمٍ يُقَالُ فِيهِ عُمَرٌ. This is Umar radiallahu anhu speaking. He said, every single day it said, this person passed away, that person passed away. That day is definitely going to come and it's going to be said, Umar radiallahu anhu has passed away. That day is also going to come. There was a muhaddith in Baghdad. His name was Futayha. One day he came out of his house and he ascended the pulpit and he said, Ya ashab, nuhanni'ukum. He said, guys, I've got good news. Mat malakul maut. The angel of death has died. Everyone said, wa kayfa dhalik? This is very interesting. How did you, manage to how did you arrive at this conclusion? The angel of death has died? He said, هذا تشكين عمره 90 سنة. He said, I just received the news of a person named Tashkeen. His age is 90 years. استأجر أرضا 300 سنة. He just rented a plot of land for 300 years. He just signed a contract for a 300-year lease. If he did not know for a fact that the angel of death had passed away, there is no way he would have done such an action. Now, for you and I, this might seem odd. Why would anyone rent a house for 300 years? But the fact of the matter is, maybe you and I, maybe we have not planned for 300 years. But we are planning for 60 years. We are planning for 100 years. We're thinking consistently, okay, what's the next step in my career? How much money can I make? Okay, I've acquired this house. I've acquired this property. What's the next move? But how much time have you and I allocated and dedicated for the akhirah, for our next life? And we all know, all of us believe it's a auxiliary point of our iman. It's an ancillary facet and part of our iman that we all believe in the eternal hereafter. We know we're heading towards the akhirah. But how much time have you and I put aside to remember the akhirah? So we might laugh at Tashkeen who rented the house for 300 years, but you and I are doing the exact same thing with 60 years and with 100 years. The last words of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his last advice to all of us. If I have to ask you to summarize what happened, tell me what happened last week. And tell me in 5 minutes only. We're going to have a difficult time explaining and breaking it down in 5 minutes. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he summarized his entire life and he said, As-salah wa ma malakat aymanukum. And that's it. He summarized Islam in a single sentence. And he said, O Muslims, he said, observe your prayers, وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ, and observe the rights of others. That's it. And the interesting thing is, why would Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam say salah, right? Why did he say hajj? Why did he say sadaqah? Why did he say tarawih? Right? Why did he say salah? If you actually break down, look at the ibadat of Islam, salah is very, very unique. Look at hajj. Hajj occurs once a year, yes? Zakah, once a year. Sawm of Ramadan, 30 days in 1 year. But salah is a regular, reoccurring thing every single day in our life. Especially once you're coming to the masjid as well, that you're building up the whole community as well. On an individual level, on a major level as well. So that's salah. And every single day, keeping the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strong every single day in our life. That's why we have salah 5 times a day. Because our schedule, our daily life is supposed to revolve around salah. It's supposed to revolve around Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A Muslim makes his schedule around salah. As-salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned something so amazing in the Quran al-Kareem. He said, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Woe be, destruction be to those people who are neglectful in regards to prayer. So this is stern warning, neglectful. But ulama kiram mentioned, the mufassirin have written, even in this admonition from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a special. He said, to those people who are neglectful about salah. He didn't say, fi salatihim. He said, an salatihim. He said, those people are destroyed who are neglectful about salah, not neglectful in salah. If he said neglectful in salah, each one of us would have, we know our condition. But he said about salah, which means you're fluctuating. You have a chance, you have a chance. You're going down, you're going back up. कहते हैं कुछ लोग कि रग में है नबी नबी, लेकिन पढ़ते हैं नमाज हफ्ते में कभी कभी. Right? They say love for Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's intrinsic to my nature. It's flowing in my blood. But when you come about salah, look at the salah, it's just a few times in the week. कहते हैं कुछ लोग रग में है नबी नबी, लेकिन पढ़ते हैं नमाज हफ्ते में कभी कभी. Alright, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us, give all of us the tawfiq to observe our salah all times. Sometimes it's difficult, we can always make it up later. The second advice of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ. Observe the rights of others around you, be it your seniors, be it your juniors. And this is something we should really think about in terms of akhlaq. It's supposed to be one of our strongest suits, one of our strongest weapons, one of the to think about our character and those people who we come in contact with regularly. One time, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there was a person who was brought as a captive, and he was kept at the masjid for 3 days. He was kept at the masjid. And after 3 days, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam released him. And he went back to his nation. And he said, when I was captured in Medina, there was no one on the face of earth who I hated more than Muhammad. And today, I've come back after 3 days, and I'm telling you, there is no one who I love on the face of this earth more than Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It took Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam 3 days to change the heart of a person who completely hated him. It took him 3 days. Sometimes we're working on a certain job for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. What can we say about our colleagues? What do our colleagues think about us? What impact have I had? Mawlana Yunus Patel rahimahullah, he's a sheikh, he just passed away a few years ago in South Africa. In South Africa, you have maids, you have butlers, the lifestyle there. So there was one thing unique about him, that every single maid, every single butler he had in his house, within 3 months, that person would accept Islam. He would treat them with so much love, so much respect, so much honor. This is one of our strongest weapons. When the Sahaba Ikram spread out to the other lands, so many people accepted Islam. The question is, how did they accept Islam? Is it that when the Sahaba went to Syria, for example, when they went to Yemen, for example, when they went to Iraq, Arabic on such an amazing level that the beauty of the Quran took them away? We read Quran every single day. We don't understand it. Right? That's another point on its own, but the point what I'm trying to say is sometimes if you actually know Arabic, the Quran is enough to move your heart away. We know the story of Umar radiallahu anhu, how he accepted Islam. Surah Najm, upon occasion Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was reciting Surah Najm to a group of non-Muslims, they were just sitting down and listening. These were Arabs, they knew Arabic very, very well. The effect of the words were so strong. Surah Najm concludes with the verse that says, prostrate, do sajda. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he recited this verse, all those non-Muslims, they weren't able to control themselves. They all just went into sajda. That's how strong the Quran was. But you and I don't understand Arabic. Those people also didn't understand Arabic. So what was it that made them accept Islam? It was the character. It was the prophetic character. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's gift to the Arabs was the Quran. His gift to the non-Arabs was his character. This is one of our strongest weapons. One time, there was a burial. The corpse was passing by in front of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They were taking the body to the graveyard. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Mustarihun am mustarahun an." Is he finding peace, or is peace found from him? Sahaba Ikram said, what does that mean? Like, break that down for us. He said, some people, when they leave, they find joy in leaving this world. He said, that's what they say. Some people bring happiness wherever they go. Others bring happiness whenever they go. Say that one more time. Some people bring happiness wherever they go. Others bring happiness whenever they go. Where do I stand? Where do we stand? Let's think about character, inshallah. Let's do some introspection and reflection, inshallah. I'll leave you with one last thing. And that was my teacher used to always give this example. He said, you have a parrot. Now you can teach this parrot anything you want. You could teach it kalima, you could teach it adhan. You see them on YouTube sometimes, a parrot's giving adhan, mashallah, beautiful. Right? But he said, take the parrot out of its cage and put it in front of a cat, where its actual fear is. He said, this parrot will forget every single thing you taught it, and it will just make its natural sound, bang, bang, bang. So he said, that's the same thing on the time of death. It's not an easy moment. Whatever in your heart is going to come out. In fact, there's a book written by, I can't remember his name, it's a doctor in Pakistan. He recorded the death of a certain amount of Muslims. And he recorded the different reactions they had at the time of death. And it's whatever's in your heart is going to come out. And he said, if you want to know what's in your heart, think about, when you say Allahu Akbar, what comes to your mind at that moment? That's what's in your heart. So let's do some introspection and reflection, inshaAllah. Even if we just spend, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, أَكْثِرُوا ذِكْرَ هَذَا. These things for you to get your life back on track. Because we are leaving this world. I'll just end off with what I said in the beginning. And that is, there is nothing more certain than death. And there is nothing more uncertain than the time of death. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant myself and all of us to prepare for death. May He grant all of us a beautiful death. And may He grant all of us ease in the qabr. And grant all of us Jannat al-Firdaus. آمين. جعلني الله وإياكم ممن تاب وأناب وأدخلني وإياكم الجنة بغير حساب ونجاني وإياكم من سوء المنقلب في المآب آمين يا رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. ومالك الأمم والرقاب وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله الذي أوتي الحكمة وفصل الخطاب صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الحساب. أما بعد، أيها الحاضرون من الجن والبشر، اشكروا الله على تأميره عليكم هذا اليوم الأزهر، فأكثروا الصلاة والسلام على سيد البشر وآله الأطهر، فإن صلاتكم شافعة في المحضر. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وأنعم على سيدنا محمد وعلى سيدنا أبي بكر وعلى سيدنا عمر وعلى سيدنا عثمان وعلى سيدنا علي رضي الله عنه وعن كل الصحابة أجمعين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأدخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى من القول والفعل والنية والهدي، إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في سوريا، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في فلسطين، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في يمن، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في بورما، اللهم انصر الإسلام والكل مكان وفي كل بلاد. آمين يا رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. واذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أقوى وأكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. الصلاة at 1:30, right? Salat at 1:30, inshallah. Yes. Just letting the brothers know. Jamaat will be at 1:30, inshallah. Let us all take a few minutes, inshallah. We have 4 minutes, inshallah. Let us introspect and reflect, inshallah, on death, inshallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. الله